Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Mikanko Yugioh deck profile for post-Duelist Nexus. Wanted to update the Mikanko deck. It's kind of the straggler deck for some of the forgotten cards that I forgot to update for the Duelist Nexus set. I already updated Rescue Ace and Pirelli, but Mikanko being from the Amazing Defenders set kind of got forgotten by me. It was one of the, last stragglers for the new support we got in the form of Arahime, the Manifested Mikanko, and some of the other cards that we're running in the deck as well, matching the standards for your go-to ritual deck, just having the cards like the Ritual Search, the Incantations, you name it, all available to you in this deck, with the main playstyle just being to hit your opponent with some of the damage that you would have taken involving your Mikanko ritual monsters. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the newer monster, being the Arahime Manifested Mikanko. Needing with this card, you can ritual summon it with Mikanko Kagura. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes any damage you would have from battles involving this card. If you have this card in your hand or graveyard and another Mikanko card in your graveyard, you can target one face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it as an equip spell. You can only use this effect of Arahime, the Manifested Mikanko, once per turn. And once per turn during the end phase, when this card is equipped to a monster, you can return this card to the hand and the equip monster also, giving you the chance to then re-ritual summon again, but having the equip option also helps with our next go-to monster, which is Ohime, the Manifested Mikanko. I was considering running this at a 3 of. If I were to do so, you can drop some of the staple count that I run for the spell lineup. I'll go over which spells, or, I've seen some people also not even like to run Arahime just because she only has really the equip and recycle options. So you can always put in a third copy of Ohime by taking out Arahime. I wanted to test out the new support in the deck though, but with Ohime, you can ritual summon this card once again with our ritual spell, which is Mikanko Kagura, and it cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent takes any battle damage involving battles with this card as well. You can only use each of the following effects of Ohime once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, add one Mikanko card from your deck to your hand, except for Ohime, the Manifested Mikanko, then discard one card, and you can target one equip spell in your graveyard and equip it to an appropriate monster on the field. So this can also set up your Arahime in the graveyard for you then to equip onto some of your other Mikanko monsters on the field. You have other search options in the form of your incantation monsters as well to add some of those searches, or some of the other cards that we are running in the extra as well to add these cards to your hand for those better searches. For some of the effect monsters we run for the main deck Mikanko monsters, 2 copies of Huli, the Jewel Mikanko. If this card is not equipped with an equip card, you take no damage from battles with this card. And if this card is equipped with an equip card, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving this card. So having sort of like a mini card effect compared to Ohime. And also with this card, if either player equips an equip card to this card, you can add one Mikanko trap card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Huli once per turn, but this helps also just being able to have this card be able to target a face-up monster on the field and equip it with your Arahime to again get the additional search, being able to add even some of the new cards we run, like the Mikanko Spirit Walk being the new trap card that we run in the deck as well. And I also run the 1 copy of Nini, the Mirror Mikanko, and the 1 copy of Hooray, the Sword Mikanko, for more of the equip options as well, being able to target a face-up monster your opponent controls and take control of it with Nini, and then also being able to add a Mikanko equip spell from your deck to your hand, and having these same equip options if an equip spell is equipped to or not onto one of your Mikanko main deck monsters. Now, the one card I couldn't find, I don't know where I misplaced my playset of Diviner of Heralds, but I have 3 Manju of the 10,000 Hands, just being another searcher for a ritual monster or a ritual spell. You have the same level adjustment with your Diviner of Herald. Diviner of Herald just allows you to send cards like Herald of the Arclight to gain the search and also give you a level 6 monster. If you have the Diviner of Heralds, this is what you will replace for that card, in my opinion. I just, like I said, I don't know where I placed them. So even if you don't have Diviner, this is more of a budget option as well to run in the deck in replace for it. And then I also run a small incantation lineup, the 2 Candle for the spell search, the 2 Talismandra for the monster search, and then the 1 Pencil Plume and the 1 Bookstone, running all of these incantations incantation monsters just for added tribute fodder for our ritual summons, especially since our Arahime is a higher level ritual monster to begin with to summon out onto the field if we were to ritual summon it. And then the only other monster for the main deck is 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, hand trap of choice along with Infinite Impermanence. We're just running Impermanence in the trap lineup, obviously, but the 3 cards just to stop more search power for your opponent. For the spells, we do run a pretty high spell count in the deck, with our first one being the ritual spell, Mikanko Kagura. This card can be used to ritual summon any Mikanko ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. Then you can apply the following effect: destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of equipped spells with different names in your graveyard, and if you do, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent for each destroyed card. So more burn damage, and then depending on the Mikanko ritual monster that you summoned out onto the field, that could be enough to hit into your opponent's bigger monster for damage with that ritual monster also. But then just having that destruction power can clear out a lot of cards your opponent may have, but this is an easy searchable card in the deck, so we only really need the 1 copy. One of the better equipped spells to run is the Mikanko Water Arabesque. The equipped monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Mikanko monster from your hand deck with a different original name than the equipped monster. If you do equip it with this card, then return the monster that was previously equipped with this card to the hand. You can only use this effect of Mikanko Water Arabesque once per turn, so it gives you more of a protection for your equipped monster, but also just being able to special summon a different one from your hand or deck with an original name means you can have cards like your Hooray and also Nini that much more easily summoned out onto the field, or depending on which one you need for the specific name, also gaining that different effect monster on the field to begin with. And then I also run 2 copies of Great Mikanko Ceremony. Special summon 1 Mikanko monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions, but return it to the hand during your opponent's end phase. And during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to send 1 Mikanko card from your deck to the graveyard, except for the Great Mikanko Ceremony. So more setup for some of your other cards in the graveyard, also depending on the incantation monster that we may summon out. We may have a ritual monster or spell recycle to use with those cards when summoned out, thanks to the setup that this quick play spell can provide. And then for some of the other quick play spells, the 1 Mikanko Reflection Rondo, equipping only to a monster, and then taking control of the equipped monster, or of that equipped monster while you control a Mikanko monster. It equips onto an opponent's monster, so you'll get that resource, very similar to your Nini's own monster effect. The 1 Fire Dance as well, to special summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard to your field, and then the 1 Mikanko Dance Mayo Shibuidori, the equipped monster, having the option of this card as well. At the end of damage step, if your Mikanko monster battled, you can target a card on the field and return it back to the hand. And then also being able to target a Mikanko monster and have the equip option for it also. For more of the generic spell lineup that we run in the deck, I also run the 2 extra Foolish Burial along with the Diviners, if you were to run Diviner instead of the Manju of the 10,000 Hands. It just has the additional send power. In the deck, you really don't use life points for much, and your life points are protected from your monsters you have on the field, so you can use them just to send extra deck monsters to gain the additional search power, whether they be Herald of the Arclight or the destruction power of Elder Entity. You have both of those available to you in the deck, and then also the 3 Preparation of Rites, just being able to add our Ohime to our hand that much more easily. We sadly can't add the Arahime since it is a level 9 monster, but still easy search for our main go-to ritual monster to begin with. And then also the 1 copy of Reinforcements of the Army. This could honestly be, if you wanted to run a 3rd copy of the ritual monster and keep Arahime, a card you take out, because it only has the 1 search target, being our Fire Mikanko monster. Hooray for the search. And then lastly, the 1 Call by the Grave for more shutdown of any of our opponent's cards in their own graveyard, whether it be a hand trap or a monster effect they're trying to resolve. And then for the traps, I run 1 of the new Mikanko Spirit Walk. You target a face-up monster your opponent controls, equip that face-up monster to 1 Mikanko monster you control as an equip spell. Then if a ritual monster card is on the field, you can inflict 5 hard damage to your opponent for each equipped card you control. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 of your Mikanko monsters that is banished or in your hand. So having a trap that at least allows you to give a banish even during your opponent's turn to summon out a Mikanko monster can mean all the difference for some of your other setup with your equip spells. And then the 1 Mikanko Rivalry, if you control a Mikanko monster, target 1 face-up monster on the field and equip it with 1 equip spell from your deck that can equip to it, having the variety of options for our equip spells, including our Water Arabesque, makes it all the better. Just being able to also search out this trap with our go-to setup with some of our Mikanko main deck monsters. And then for the last of the the trap cards, just the 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence Standard Hand Trap along with Ash Blossom to run for the trap lineup. And then for the extra deck, having the different extra deck options, I run the 1 Lena the Light Charmer, the 1 Area, and the 1 Hita for all the special summon of our opponent's monsters from their own graveyard. I even thought of running Win the Wind Chandler, since we do have Huli, the Jewel Mikanko, for Lena, but we do have some other light monsters in the form of our ritual monsters. That's why I decided to keep her in over Win. You can always take out the 1 Repodakis as well for the play, and then also the 1 IP Masquerena, the 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and the 1 Apollosa, Bow of the Goddess for some of the higher link options. You don't go into them much, but just good to have here for some of your monsters to summon out. For the Xyz monsters, because with our main deck Mikanko monsters, we do have level 3 options, so the 1 Leviaire and the 1 Dante for more graveyard setup of some of our other equip spells, the 1 Downward Magician, and the 1 Divine Arsenal Zeus for overlaying on top of them after we use their main effects. And then for the Send cards, if you were to run Diviner of Herald, or the extra Foolish Burial, the 2 copy of Herald of the Arclight, and the 2 copy of Elder Entity to send to the graveyard off of those cards. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, it all comes down to just that ritual monster setup. If you have the search power, depending on what card you may go for, you can go for the incantation search as well, revealing the ritual monster from your hand. So if you have that other additional search, you can go for it off of cards like Preparation of Rites for that card, or depending on which other one you have, you even have the ritual spell reveal off of your Candle if you were to get it off of the search for your other cards. But the one that's most important for the setup, I would be saying, is your Mikanko Water Arabesque. Just being able to, during the main phase, special summon another Mikanko monster and then equip it with this card. So then you just need your 1 additional Mikanko monster on the field for the summon, and then equipping on the Water Arabesque to that monster. And then also with this card, when a monster card is equipped to it, you can add a Mikanko trap from your deck to your hand. So once you have Huli on the field and you equip it on with Water Arabesque, you can then search out the new Mikanko Spirit Walk, and then activate Water Arabesque to special summon a Mikanko monster from your hand or deck with a different original name than the equipped monster. So then you can use the option to then summon out your Hooray, the Sword Mikanko, and then when the equipped card becomes equipped onto it, you can add a Mikanko equipped spell from your deck to your hand, giving you the added search option depending on which one you may need for that additional play. And you've also given yourself the 2 level 3 monsters to use for your Ohime. You need the 3 to have the exact level 9 setup to use to summon out your Arahime. That's where she comes in, with all 3 of them being used for her own ritual summon. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.